place. I lost by 4 feet.
And today?
I was 700 pounds light because I didn't really know the weight of the tractor, and that was the first time I ever pulled her. And today. Well, let's talk about today. I put her in a 16,000 pound class. I put her in turret gear. They were all 280, 290. One was 310, maybe 312.
And you were?
I put her right at 370 feet right in the sand pond. The only mistake I made, I didn't put her right in the registration booth with the girl.
Well, there we go. That was one of the best introductions ever for you, Hothem, don't you think?
Yes, I do. That was very nice. Thank you. Nice job.
Well, we care about you. I mean, you're kind of a big deal, so we do care about you.
Well, I don't think about that, Jason. I think the big deal is the one running this show right now. Come on, Jason Schultz. I mean, you saw that beautiful, beautiful picture there of Jason Schultz in the mortgage ad. I think that's awesome.
Well, in case if anybody needs a mortgage, I'm not afraid of a shameless plug. You know that, Hothem.
Love you, buddy.
Yeah, love you too. Welcome, everybody, to Let's Grow Pulling Live. My name is Jason Schultz. We do this every Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we did keep Jeff Hothem up past his bedtime tonight. So we're going to try to be kind to him as kind as we can.
No, we're not.
This show is sponsored.
No, we're not. Not really.
This show is sponsored by the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. And my cohorts, Charles Posch. Now you got to point at Jeff. Charles, can you point
Charles,
at Jeff?
Point, Charles.
That's Jeff over there. Now, Jeff.
He's a little slow.
Jeff, you point at Paul. Okay. Paul, you point at Cody.
Smart like dump truck.
Brent pointed Big Rye. Look at that.
Sweet. I don't have to point at anybody. I suck at that game.
That's the first time we've ever done that and not had have to change.
So, a lot of people call this Hollywood Squares. We're not square and we're not Hollywood, but Jeff, we are excited to have you, buddy. So.
Well, thank you for having us, guys. I appreciate it very much. Great opportunity. Thank you.
So, Jerry Setter says that Jeff is a big deal. We agree.
Jerry.
Brad Cottle says he met you at Benson and he bought a T-shirt. So
awesome.
He hasn't stopped wearing it. It hasn't gone through the laundry yet.
Yeah, it might stand on its own if you took it off. Is that what you're telling me?
Probably.
Brad, man, hey, you get the 75 cents and throw it in the wash, bud. You'll be fine.
Well, Jeffrey, can you start at the beginning, like, your pulling career, how it all got started? Not everybody knows about your diesel life and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, we started back in 2001. 2001 is when we started diesel pulling local level. Then we came on board with the Ohio State tractor pullers, and we started and campaigned the tractor called Loaded Gun. And we did that all the way up through the year of 2009. And then 2010, we brought out our first alcohol tractor, changed the name a bit to Fully Loaded. I had some problems with some kids at school wearing the shirts and having the word gun on it and all this other stuff. So they had to turn the shirts inside out, et cetera. So long story short, we came up with another line for the name. And we wanted to kind of keep the Loaded Gun, but so instead we figured with the alcohol version, we'd call it Fully Loaded, and it runs on alcohol now. So that's kind of how it started in 2010. We did the state circuit in 2010, meddled a little bit with the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League in the 2010 year rather. And then 2011, we started full time with Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League. And then hit various NTPA events and Ohio State events and local polls, that type of thing, when time allowed. But yeah, we've been pulling for 20 plus years now, which does not seem that long. I'll look back on it. It has been a while, but as we're going through and continue to go through, it does not seem to appear to have been that long. But you got some pictures on there. That's the old Track Boss sled from Mike Stimmel in Ashland, Ohio, a Loaded Gun diesel super stock pulling. One of the state events there. Photo courtesy of Dave Dan there. And then now we've transferred obviously to the Blaster Fully Loaded alcohol tractor. Again, we did that in 2010. And Blaster came on board, let's see, this is year 5, the conclusion of year 5 for this. So they came on in 2016. Prior to that, you might remember the blue tractor, the Carlisle tractor, 3 years prior to that, 2013 on. That was when Carlisle Tools was our primary sponsor. But we've been very fortunate with our sponsors and sponsorships through our time here on the national circuit from just about 2010 on. Napa Auto Parts has been on board as a sponsor. Again, we've had Carlisle Tools in the past. Our current primary sponsors is Blaster Products, manufacturers of PB Blaster. Also, I have to mention great friends at Breck Bueller and BTEC Scales. Awesome family company, awesome job, and a huge supporter and promoter of our team and the sport. And then we picked up AC Avalanche, which is a division of Blaster Products here this summer for the first year, and then also for next year. It's a do-it-yourself refrigerant for your car, truck, semi. Basically, it's a refrigerant in a can, and you just plug into your system and do it yourself type deal for AC Avalanche. So to tell you what, the sponsors make a huge, huge help for us. We would not be able to do what we do today if we did not have our sponsors, and it's been just an awesome, awesome experience.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who's done a better job with sponsors than you, Jeff. You've done an amazing job.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you for that. So.
Thank you. It takes a lot of time and it's a lot of work, and I know you guys know that are on the show here. I know you know all about it. Social media. We try to do several posts a week, if not one a night. That gets very, very time consuming. I've kind of slacked off, not intentionally, but we've been busy. And that's a funny thing too. Most people think, it's the off season. You got tons of time. No. We don't. We are completely slammed right now with sponsorships, negotiating contracts for this next year, upcoming year, redoing contracts with our existing sponsors, going out actively seeking additional sponsors. We are probably just as busy, if not more busy now, with more, unfortunately, office work, which I know, Jason, I know you know all about the office work, and it's great times, I know. But it's a very busy time for us this year, and really in the whole world of tractor pulling, we only get about a month to a month and a half off, and that's usually right after the National Farm Machinery Show, so we can have a little breather before we start the summer circuit. So just plugging away day by day as we can get things done here. So we're trying, and we try to keep you guys updated as to what we've got going on.
Jeff, what made you go from diesel to alky? What was the decision?
That's when we were pulling in a state circuit, and what we were seeing back then, and it's true now, but what we were seeing back then is the diesel tractors would have to be pushed. The diesel tractors would have to be pushed so hard in order to compete with the alcohols that if we were going to increase our performance or attempt to better ourselves on the state circuit at that time, what do we do? Do we throw a bunch of money into this diesel where we're, the boost pressure is way higher than what the alcohols are running? Do we put all the modifications into this? The tractor we bought had was very, I'll say simple as far as it wasn't a component chassis. It was a stock rear end. Had two aluminum frame rails that surrounded the engine, and then a modified combine front end axle that we used in order to get the tractor around with, obviously. So it was very simple. In order to put a bunch of money into it, was the rear end going to hold if we dumped a bunch of money into the motor? Was the chassis going to work? Was the non-component rear end, the stock 4010 housing, was that going to work? And so talking with some fellow pullers and some friends, what we did was we decided to sell that chassis and tractor as a complete unit. It went across the pond. It's now being campaigned over across the pond there. It's called Loaded Deer. They have their own social media sites. You guys can follow them along with what they've got going on with that tractor. It's still active today. And we decided then to put our resources and efforts and money into building a new chassis that would be strong enough to handle the horsepower that was going to be made down the road. And that primarily was the deciding factor.
Makes sense to me. If you're just joining us, Jeff Hothem, obviously, Fully Loaded Motorsports, the Blaster, the Deer, with us tonight. Does a great job. If you have any questions, any stories, anything about Mr. Hothem, please type them into the comments. We'd be more than happy to ask them to Jeff. Let's talk about 2021, Jeff. How did the season end up? 2020 was goofy, obviously, with COVID. And then right. I think 2021 was more of a full circuit like we're used to. How did you end up for the season? And let's talk about 2021 a little bit.
Yeah, 2021, we ended up fifth place on the national for Lucas Oil and the Pro Pulling League on the Champions Tour. Ended up fifth. Through NTPA, we had significant problems and a cracked block when we went to Bowling Green. We tried to take it easy on the motor and try to just make a lap at Bowling Green, which really turned around and really just kind of bit us right in the backside. We dropped a gear and kind of wound it up a little tighter than what we normally would have, just so we can get the less torque on the motor to try to keep that cracked block surviving and safe to make it at least one run and another one. That didn't prove out so well because we slowed down the tire speed, allowed the tires to hook up more, and we picked the front end up in the air and slammed it down a couple times. It did a little bit of chassis belly pan damage, but so that wasn't so great. So we came into Bowling Green through NTPA in fourth place, and we ended up in seventh for the year. We only had the four hooks, the two at Bowling Green and the two at Rockwell, Iowa. But PPL was pretty decent. We did well. We ended up obtained fifth place out of 20 pre-committed tractors. So that's not too bad. We're pretty happy with that. Like I said, we ran into some trouble with a cracked block, but Blackburns were able to help us out greatly, get us the block in a timely fashion, and we were fortunate enough to not miss a Pro Pulling League poll, and we were able to make that happen. So.
You did get one for one. I mean, don't diminish it. You did go to an OSTPA hook and win one.
That's right. Yeah, we did. We went down to our hometown here in Carrollton, Ohio, and we won down there at our hometown. Which, if anybody knows, winning at your hometown is not an easy feat.
No, and you had to beat some guys too. I mean,
Yeah,
I saw the results. They were
there was there were several good tractors there on the state level at Carrollton, and somehow we were lucky enough to make it happen and pull it off.
Jeff, isn't this the week all the Louisville invites kind of come? Isn't it kind of always Thanksgiving week?
Yeah, usually, and I have not heard a single thing yet. Sometimes the mail, and especially with the whole COVID stuff, I know mail's a little slower now. But in years past, usually we see something on the website sometimes prior to getting notified. But usually you see something popping up on Facebook. Hey, we got accepted, or hey, we got our thanks but no thanks letter, as I like to call it. But I have not heard a single thing. And I don't know. Nobody's talking about it. I haven't heard a single thing. But yes, it's usually right around the week of Thanksgiving. So who knows? It's only Monday.
Well, we'll just keep talking about that. We'll just keep talking about that Pullers Championship then. That's all good with me. So.
Yeah.
Jeff, can you see that question on the screen, and can you address that?
Yeah. How does the tractor you run as of now help with weight distribution? As I can see, or at least feel that you sit further ahead. The previous tractor on diesel. Well, we spend a lot of money and pullers in general spend a lot of money into having lightweight rear ends. And the reason for that is the more power you make, the more horsepower you have, the more torque is built, the more weight you're going to have be able to be moved to keep on the front end of the tractor to keep that down. So anything you can do to move weight forward will help you and assist you in your performance as you increase your either turning your wick up on the boost wastegates, or as you make more power through the motor package that you have.
Well said.
What's your chassis setup? Who built that?
Carlin Motorsports in Alliance, Ohio. Gary and Kyle Carlin. They have the campaign of the tractor now called Bad Blood. Yep. They're a chassis builder. Actually, this is our second alcohol tractor that we currently have. I'm not currently have, but that we have had. They built the first chassis, and then now they have built this chassis as well. Excellent job. Highly recommend them. No chassis hookup issues, durability issues, anything like that. We have had very, very little problems, and it has had great success with it.
How much crap do you guys take for not having a speck of green paint on a John Deere?
Charles, and I tell you what, next time we're together, when we raise the hood, I want you to look underneath that hood, bud, because there is green underneath the hood. So, but yes, I know. Yeah, it's a kind of a running joke. We started out green 2011. We switched over to Carlisle, which was blue. Then now we switched over to Blaster, which is red, black, orange, yellow-ish, and everything. Yes, the tractor has identity confusion. The tractor needs counseling. The tractor needs a psychologist. And as we continue to talk, I believe most of you will see that I probably need one too. However, but and that's a new thing too. I guess I can let the cat out of the bag. We're putting a new power plant in for the 2022 season, and it's not going to be green. It's going to be a red one. So
you kind of, when you posted that online that it was that it was for sale, you kind of broke the internet there for a while. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, what's Jeff doing now?"
I wasn't going to ask. I wasn't going to go there. But next time I see you, the raindrops won't be flying, and we'll still have a drink and talk about it. So
you wouldn't believe the number of messages, private messages, phone calls, texts, whatever. Are you done pulling? Are you done? You're quitting pulling. You're quitting pulling. Then you got the ones, that said, "Hey, you're only charging $75,000 for your tractor, your entire tractor." No, dumb, read the post. But it's just it's I kind of responded to a couple of them by the time, by the 50th millionth one is like, "No, dude, read the post." I'll just say whatever. But no, we're not selling the tractor. We're not getting out of pulling. No, we're selling turbos to input shaft is what's being sold, and we're gonna have a completely fresh new setup from Blackburn Race Components on what they currently campaign in their HD tractor, 6-cylinder HD tractor.
Speaking of Blackburn,
have you loaded HD?
Have you always been Blackburn power plant, or when did you switch to them?
No, we originally had, because we came over from the diesel side. So we had Riverside Engines build our first couple of alcohol motors. We tried a couple of different things. Some things worked, some things didn't work. The one we ran in 2016, when we were on our first national championship, that was a complete Riverside motor. When we started having troubles, and it was nothing to do with Riverside, but we were having some fuel system troubles, like to lean out and detonate. It just wasn't running smoothly. We weren't able to obtain the information we needed to get. And we finally went to the dyno up at Blackburns to get some assistance with the fuel system and some help with that. And we ended up kicking rods out. So at that point, we kind of said, well, Terry, what can you do? What can you help us out with? And that's when we went to their bottom end. It's still a Riverside head on the current engine now that we still have. But they adjusted the fuel system to their likings or their specifications, and they built us a bulletproof bottom end, or what's been bulletproof so far, except for the little block issue we had this year. But very good external oil system, the whole nine. But yeah, so it was Riverside on the alcohol side, and then now we're Blackburn, and it's going to be a complete Blackburn deal here this summer for 2022.
Push rod motor or overhead cam?
Push rod. Yeah. I don't think I don't think there's a difference. Everybody's like overhead cam that gets you so much more power. No, I don't see it. I truly don't see it. The only thing in my opinion, the only thing overhead cam does for you is the fact that, if you get into that excessive RPMs, depending on where your RPM band range is for your torque and horsepower, but if you are in that high side of the RPMs, the overhead cam will be much more durable, have much longer longevity. Or if something was to come loose, say, you came in neutral or something like that, and you got the excessive high RPM, your valve train, not your valves, but your valve train, the rocker arms, the rockers themselves, and the camshaft, et cetera, you won't have the push rod tubes that will fail on the high RPMs. I think is a benefit. As far as performance wise, I truly don't see a benefit in the overhead cam.
Do you guys essentially see a need for moving cam center line to avoid the clearance issues, or is that a 680 plus thing?
No, we are not we are not allowed to move in our class. We are not allowed to move anything.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I get that, but
Okay.
Would it be to your advantage if you did?
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, I guess before I jump on, sure, I would assume so. Yes, you could get. You can get a little bit bigger stroke, that type of thing. You can maybe go different bore size, but when you stay with that 650, though, what they've got, what's going on is, what they're at is the 650, and it's clearing with the stock cam location. So it's kind of a double-headed edge question you're asking here, Charles.
Yeah, no,
you're trying to get me wrapped up.
Yeah, no, when it comes to valve acceleration, I in that failure instance or whatever, I get your point to it, but it's seeking the performance threshold. I always feel like on the stock blocks where that cam is in supers anyway, and probably in pros versus for stroke reasons, not necessarily cylinder pressure, but certainly for stroke reasons, moving it does make a difference. So
sure,
just taking your pressure on that. Blood pressure.
Yeah.
On that
I would 100% agree with that. Yes, it would make a difference and probably be to the benefit of that. Yes. I don't think we need to, or I don't think it's necessarily a certain thing for our 650 limit that would need to be done. But will it be a negative if it did? No. Would it be positive? Probably yes. But yeah, Mike's got a question on there. Blackburn HT is a push rod engine, isn't it? Yes, it is, Mike. Yes.
Yes, it is. That's a DNR block.
That's correct.
How much does your tuning depend on? We had this conversation. I had this conversation with Travis last week on the show. Drive pressure versus boost pressure in the alcohol world, spark plug, it's a totally different game, and how you measure those variables. Alcohol guys, you guys are wastegating, and you can definitely build exhaust side pressures that will far exceed what you will ever need on the compression side. talk about where that threshold is versus detonation, and where you guys are, what sort of target you're trying to hit, boost pressure versus drive pressure, and venting out through the wastegate, and how that all works across the turbo systems you guys typically run.
You want me to give away all my secrets, don't you?
No,
We're gonna try.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A for effort, guys. A for effort.
privately, yes, but no. Think globally, what sort of setup are you guys trying to achieve?
We were told you get around the 120 mark on boost pressure on the plus side, or on the compression side, not the exhaust side, the compression side. You get around that 120 mark, you're still in okay territory. You get anything above that, then you're gonna start working on it some more. So that's kind of the way we follow through with things. What can we do to keep the boost lower, but yet, or well, a lot lower, but around that 120 mark? But what can we do to set up the tractor different? What can we do to set up our driving style different? Can we weight it different? Can we, do you get different tire pressure? As far as you want that exhaust pressure to not be super backed up, and not be much higher or any higher than it needs to be, because that means your engine's not breathing when you ask about the exhaust pressure. You've got to let the engine breathe. If you don't let that engine breathe, then that's going to be a problem. You're not going to get the performance out of it. You're going to keep that heat in there, and it's not going to be good. I know that's why some of the guys in past times, or even some current guys, are running 4 chargers now, because that alleviates some of the back pressure, alleviates some of the exhaust temperature on the motor. You've got to let that motor breathe. As much air as you can get in, that's your idea with the turbo, right? You got to get as much air in there as you can. Well, what do you do with that air if it can't get out? If it can't get out, it's like sucking through a coffee stirrer when you're trying to suck, take a big gulp of Coke at McDonald's or whatever, sucking it through a coffee stirrer. You can't get it in, and you got to get it out. I mean, you just got to get it. You just got to get that out of there. If it's not, you're not letting the motor breathe.
You can constipate a motor real easy.
Go ahead, Paul.
No, I was just going to say, you can constipate a motor real easy.
Yeah.
Very much so.
The point I'm trying to illustrate for everybody versus what we talked about last week with the diesels versus what the alcohol guys are confronted with, it's 2 totally different paradigms with building these super stocks. And really the fight that the diesel guys are against is the tunability that the alcohol guys really do have available to them in doing this kind of thing. And there's a drivability factor there that the alcohol guys do have.
Yeah, just driving a diesel compared to an alcohol tractor is 1,000 million times different on your starting line takeoff, your whole shots. I mean, diesels, you kind of wind them up and let them go, sort of, kind of, but you all regulate that through the clutch. Well, with ours, because it's still mechanical fuel injection, you've got to build boost. You got to get the RPMs up, get the other 2, 3, and 4th stage of fuel going. And then you have to adjust the clutch according to your throttle and according to what the track can take, and as far as your whole shot's going to be. And it's totally different. If you know how to drive a diesel and think you can jump on an alcohol right away, you're probably going to be surprised. Same vice versa. If you jump on an alcohol and drive it, know how to do it, and switch to diesel, it's going to be a totally different ball game.
So on that note right there, you talk about the drivability. On a diesel super, what footage are you roughly off the clutch, and how does that relate to an alcohol, your tractor now? I mean, how are you at 75 feet and you're off the clutch, or are you walking it out there, or is it just mainly depend on the track?
1,000% depends on the track. 1,000%. Everybody will tell you a different answer. Everybody will tell you something the same. Very rarely will tell you something the same. It is 1,000% on the track. I mean, if it's a nice tight track, it's got some moisture in it, it's real tacky, real sticky, you can wind it up, turn it loose, and it doesn't take a whole lot of driving to get it down the track. If the track is anything but that, or the beginning of the track is anything but that, then it takes some driving to get it out there, because, just the same as a diesel, same as an alcohol, once you burn those tires off and you get them spinning so fast that it doesn't do anything but sit there and just fries the tires, you're not going anywhere, and it's not going to do you a darn bit of good.
How hard do you fight that lack of linearity with the mechanical, where you got to set a certain return pill, and so now maybe you're too fat on the ignition side or the idle side, and then you got to rise to a certain curve when you're up on it? How big of a pain in the butt is that in terms of tuning, and how bad do you rely upon past experience, not necessarily versus a track, but maybe versus a certain density altitude?
Yeah. Altitude, barometric pressure, all that stuff plays a huge factor. As far as changing return pills and stuff like that, a lot of that can be done on the dyno. And a lot of that well, I guess I won't say fine tuning, but a lot of that tuning can be done on the dyno. Once you get that stuff figured out and set, at least in what we've got with our fuel system currently, and every fuel system's different, but we can just change a couple of nozzles out in the intake itself, and we'll monitor the fuel pressures to make sure they don't go below a certain range that we have set and said to ourselves that we don't want the fuel pressure to go below this range. And as long as that doesn't happen, then we typically don't have to worry about your air pills. We don't have to worry about the fuel return pills. We just simply do it straight by nozzles in the intake once we've got it figured out. But to get to that, yes, it does take a little bit. And I see Adam's got a question on there. It says, how hard is it to tune for, say, the farm show indoors versus tuning for an outdoor event? Doesn't make a dang bit of difference, Adam, except for the fact that Louisville is in the dead nuts cold of February. So that is the huge deal. Indoors versus outdoors, same time, same thing. Not a whole lot of difference, but the major difference is for the farm show to other outdoor events, which would be in the summertime, is because of the cool, crisp air. You've got to watch too in the springtime, where the trees are spreading their leaves and starting to bloom and everything's being green. The oxygen is very much there, and it will be less humid. Humidity plays a huge part in it. More hot, more humid, the more sluggish the motor's going to run. I'm sure everybody's heard, it's a cool, crisp night. These motors are going to rock. These motors are going to race. Yeah, that's all good until they blow up because they leaned out and detonated. You really have to adjust the fuel on that, and you have to add some more fuel to that, or you're going to have serious problems.
To expand on that question, we've heard the comment for a lot of years about farm show where it's really cold. The door was open. The guys were cold. They didn't run for shit. How much does that matter going into that building, and then you sit there in the corner by that cold door? Is that a thing, or are people just talking out their ass?
Well, you gotta. There's many different facets to what you just said to what they are either saying and or implying. Okay. It can be to the effect of, hey, I was started up. If you're a diesel, you can't start inside broadband. Obviously, you have to start up outside. Okay, so you start up outside, you warm everything up. Well, when I did that, I had to wait X number of minutes. Then I sat on the ramp with the door open. Okay, my motor's cooling down. Okay, so are they complaining about the motor cooling down, or are they complaining about the internal air temperature of inside Freedom Hall? You kind of have to differentiate that to get an understanding of that. If their motor did cool down too long, that could very much be a problem. Because we've all heard and we've all seen everybody out there spraying ether in these diesel motors and then cracking and banging and popping and sounding crazy in the smoke tube. It's cold. Okay, it's cold. It's the motors got cooled down too much. It's through no fault of the driver. They probably thought they warmed it up enough and then brought it into Freedom Hall, and then they didn't get in there as soon as they thought they did, and so maybe they didn't leave it warmed up long enough. It's tough to say what each individual problem is. What I know is for our tractor, when we warm it up over in Broadbent, we get it up to temperature. I take it up a fair amount warmer than what I would at a normal summer pull because I know I'm going outside. Then we also take blankets and throw over the front of the turbos under the hood as we get it taken over to Freedom Hall and until we get inside the ramp at Freedom Hall and take those blankets off. What that blanket does is prevents cold air from pushing past the turbos and through the intake and cooling down the internal components of the motor. So that's what we, that's how we've tried to battle some of that out. But the biggest problem for us, we've not necessarily, I won't say that we haven't had issues down there because Lord only knows we have. But the biggest problem for us is having the fuel setting right for the cooler, crisp air. As far as once the engine is running and we're going down or trying to go down the track, that's probably been our biggest problem. The fact of us keeping internal engine temperature on the way to and from Broadbent to Freedom Hall has not been an issue, whereas as much as the right fuel setting. once we're in there and fired up.
All right. Thank you for indulging me in alcohol tractor school. I'm going to yield the floor to everybody else now.
Koosh has been nerding out this whole time. He's like,
"You're getting me."
I'll send you the bill, Charles.
All right,
Mike's got a question on there. It says, Jeff, are you going to get that crazy man Jeff Hurt to run all next summer? I will do my best because we sure missed him this year. And Jeff and Bill Hurt and Jess and Terry and the rest of the family up there have done an awesome job trying to promote their business and build their Bill's implement sales and the lawn care tools and equipment they sell, the lawn tractors and the steel equipment. They've done so well at that they have been extremely, extremely, extremely busy. And that has been a major, a good thing. But as far as on the pulling side of things, it's been a major detriment. So yes, we are going to encourage Jeffrey to get up there and get that tractor out there. Hopefully, get both of them back out there, and we'll see how we can do it.
So Ryan DeBrew, a semi-puller, obviously, Hothem. I love it. That's a nice segue into what's the worst you've ever been called over the microphone. I know personally, I've been around you, Jeff. I've heard different things, but what's most you've ever butchered your name?
You know,
like Hothem or
Hothem, Hothem. It could be anything. I mean, the imagination can go wild. Nothing super bad on the microphone. They've kept it pretty clean.
Good deal. Whenever we have an unlimited super stock competitor, Jeff, we like to talk about the diesel versus the alkies. What's your thought on that? I love it as a fan. Honestly, it's been one of the most exciting things to talk about the last couple of years. The farm show, the way they're combining it, and obviously having Colin come out and play with you guys. It kind of reminds me of the good old days. But I was never a puller, and Travis Schlaba touched on it last week, and he wasn't around when the Alki tractors kind of ruined the class in his mind, and some of those older diesel super pullers still got some whatever to bear, if you will.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's great. Colin and the rest of the triple bypass guys, they've got an excellent program. They've done their research. They've done their homework. They've got an excellent running tractor, and they are definitely a contender in the alcohol class. It's been, to be honest, I wasn't too sure how I would it would be looked at or perceived by the fans. I initially got a lot of feedback that it was good and everybody was excited. I had hoped it would continue, which it has. I didn't know personally myself how I would, do we really want a diesel mixed in with the alcohols, that type of thing? But I tell you what, it's been pretty interesting to see how that does work, and I think it's a great boost for the sport. I think it presents itself with a lot of discussion on what goes on, the differences, just what we've spent the last 15, 20 minutes talking about, the difference between alcohol and diesel. And I think the fans are doing that same thing, and I think it's creating a lot of good, positive feedback with that happening. So I'm glad to have Colin and Jody and the rest of the family in the pulling world and in our class on Lucas Oil. It's been great. So but I tell you that they've got their stuff together. They've done a very good job.
I think if you look at the history of a pulling class, Jeff, and all of us would agree, there's kind of highs and lows. And I think right now the unlimited superstock class has a lot of eyes on it, honestly, because of Colin and what I guarantee every one of us on this show, those first couple hooks, how did Colin do today? How did Colin do it tonight? Right. It's kind of like, if they put in a new quarterback or something like that. So it's been good. There's been a lot of eyeballs on your class. Not that they weren't going away, but it added a whole new mixture to it. So.
Right. Yes, it did. And I think it really helped our class and in turn helped the sport as well. So, yes, I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Hothem, what's going on in this? This kind of looks like an offensive coordinator and a quarterback. Can you tell me what's happening here?
That picture was at Fort Recovery, and we were discussing. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think we're looking over the track and discussing track and weight placement. I think at that point in time. Well, let's just go with that one.
So that is going to be. I'm going to make a meme tonight after the show and say, please.
We need to
caption this photo.
Caption this photo.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I'll just try to have everybody keep it clean.
Colin Ross just did a virtual fist bump with you there.
There you go. Yep. Glad to have you on, Colin.
I
believe you guys are back in Hillsboro, right,
Yep.
Brent?
Yeah, tentatively they are back. And actually, yes. I pretty much know for a fact. Don, I heard him talking to Josh last year and said that they're going to be back. So.
Yeah, Don approached me there at the banquet and said, "Hey, you're back at Hillsboro, right?" Like, yes, sir, I do. Thank you. Let's see. Adam says, really good at the farm show in 2023 and it's 3 to finals. Has not been some smoke tube malfunction. Red Horse is going to put a diesel rate in the conversation for winning that deal. All right.
Yeah, light pros and unlimited supers are in at Hillsboro. I think super farms and 4.1 limited pros are out, is what I've been told. So,
gotcha.
Open supers are supposed to be back in Toma, from what I'm hearing. I know that was one thing last year that really shook that crowd. I mean, you talk about a poll with loyal fans is Toma, Wisconsin, Jeff.
Right. Yes.
They love their unlimited supers up there. So. Yes,
I heard a bunch of scuttle that there was many people that weren't super happy about that. Now, I have only had the fortunate opportunity to pull there once at Toma, but I enjoyed it and it was a good time, and I would like to go back. But we'll see what NTPA has, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, NTPA's banquet's the 8th, I think. So I think they're going to have a tentative schedule coming out there at the banquet. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
It'll be the weekend before that.
3rd? My bad. Yep, my bad. Okay.
Hothem, Brent is our Rain Man. Brent Yarn is like anything we need to know. It's like we just asked Rain Man over there. So, and he pops in, and that's a compliment to Yarn. He knows that. So, well, Jeff, we want to like to segue into the Pullers Championship. We want to thank you for being our class rep for the Alkies, the light class and the unlimited super stock class. Colin always says, Jason, it's not the heavy class, it's the unlimited class. So they're calling it. But we've been working on this for months behind the scenes, and we made a list. We basically made you the class rep before I even told you were going to be the class rep. I called you. You were down at the PPL banquet, and I was texting you, and you guys were drinking. I saw some of your Snapchats with Blackburn. Looked like you're having a good time, and probably should come along next year just as a film crew. Make sure you guys get back to the hotel, okay? But
for blackmail purposes.
Yeah. Wait, Hothem, were you involved in that whole karaoke thing?
What karaoke thing?
Guess not. Or at least that's what we're going to go with, right?
That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Come on.
But we felt it was important to have a representative for each class that they trust and know, and they could ask questions to. And we picked you, and we thank you. You're letting all the invitees know that they're invited, and they need to sign up by the end of the year. Otherwise, they lose their spot.
Correct.
Brent, what did we do for the unlimited class? Was it top 5? How did we pick the top 10?
Yep, top 5 from each. And I believe Colin finished top in both, so there was only 9 instead of 10 that got invited. So right now there's going to be 3 fan votes, and any that don't go unclaimed, we'll switch over to that. So then for currently we have 3 of the 9 committed. So
who's registered?
You'll have to wait for the post, Ryan.
You're a dick.
I post every single one in our group chat.
They're in the group chat there, Big Rye.
You should know. Well, you should know the 2.
I know. 2. I was trying to tip our hand to the fans.
Well, we're just
Nope. Wait for it.
Watch the page.
Wait for it.
You guys are such teases. All of you are such teases. I'm telling you.
You ain't seen nothing yet. I still got my clothes on.
Well, here, let me. I can do this because it's me. We will be there. All right. So there, fans. I gave you one.
Yes, you did.
However, I do have to throw a disclaimer in. I promise we will do our absolute best to be there. However, if the new motor is not quite done yet and the old motor is sold, we might have a problem. But I will do my best, absolute 1,000% do my best to be there.
Jeff,
So
we'll create a pedal tractor class for you.
Right. Can we do that? You see my
That'd
fat,
be awesome.
You see my fat butt on a pedal tractor? You shitting me? That'd be like seeing you on a pedal tractor. Are you kidding me? Well, maybe I'll have to stick the garden tractor motor in there just to get out on the track and call it good. Just make it go. Yeah.
Wind that sucker up to 12,000 RPM
and stand back.
Yep.
Bruce, this is we're getting to that part of the show where we're going to let Jeff go to bed. So
we are, but I do want to ask Jeff one more thing because Jeff, I don't think answered it yet. What do you do for a living, Jeff?
We work on the family farm and help a neighbor out that actually farms this property. And I work for the city of Canton, and between that, tractor pulling and sponsorships, that's about it.
What about your OnlyFans? What about your OnlyFans page?
I have one of those. You right? You found my secret.
Well,
page.
you sent us a schedule. I don't know what it was all about, but
what? Please tell me, what all did you see on my secret page?
I saw
that would require me to disclose how much I paid for it.
Whoa, everybody's talking at once. There must be a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah.
This show has gone down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
Yeah. It still kept clean, though. Doing a good job here. The filter is working.
Right under the bus.
Right under the bus. Yeah.
All right, Jeffy. So let's say that you can steal the keys, figuratively speaking, to any pulling vehicle, past or present. And you can pull it anywhere except for the farm show, Toma, and Bowling Green. What are you taking the keys to? Where are you pulling? And why?
Oh, my. Well, let's see. Probably, I probably have to choose a class. And that would probably be a toss-up between the unlimited mods, and I know this is going to be weird, but unlimited mods or the mini rod class.
Not weird at all.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, you go from like super huge grandioso to something small but mighty. It might be a little weird to some, but anywho.
Power to weight ratio is right there.
What's that?
Power to weight ratio is right there.
That's you know what? You're right. But as far as one particular one on each of the classes, I don't really care. Just give me one and let me have fun, and give me the other one too and let me have fun. So yeah, just give me both. I want both.
Where do you want to pull them?
Pull them. I don't really care. Most favorite pull is right now is probably Farley, Iowa. The track is really good out that way, and I think that would be awesome to be out there at Farley on one of those awesome machines here, the big unlimited mods or the mini rods.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And you're right. That'd be a heck of a track to do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They did a very good job in the past 2 years out there on those tracks. And I'm sorry, we're not going to be out in Farley, Iowa this year. They did a coin toss, I guess, and then they had to let one class go. So we will not be there this year, but hopefully I can get with RJ and we can get something there for the 2023 season.
Do you want a cell phone number?
I have him on Snapchat.
But I mean,
then tell him you want to drive one of his modifieds and go up there and do it.
Right.
He'd give you the shot.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Or just buy it.
Right. Good. Just write the check. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm putting RJ Simon's cell phone number in the chat right now, and I want everybody watching to text him and tell him.
Put Jeff in the mod.
Everybody, please send RJ Simon a text right now. I don't care what you say, but I'm going to blow up this phone.
Yeah, he's probably going to kill me and you.
Host, meanwhile, is falling off of his chair.
Long overdue.
Oh my goodness! There it is. Right.
Jeff, in the event that this goes the way you want it to, and he tosses you the keys, so to speak,
right?
You owe us.
Right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just throwing that out there.
RJ's the kind of guy that'd be like, yeah, go pull it, Hothem. I mean, that's how he would do it. So.
I might have throw y'all a couple of free T-shirts or something, huh?
Just take us off of Mexican when it's raining, like we did in Rockwell.
Right.
That's actually the better deal. I'm just going to be honest, because been there, done that.
Right, that was a good time, and then they get suckered into a live video that says, "Are we going to pull?" Yeah, we're going to pull, and then we have to lie to the fans. Thanks, Ryan. Awesome.
No. You didn't catch the hell for that. I did.
You were operating on best available information.
At the time when we left, we were still going pulling.
Yes, we were.
It's true.
Best available information. That's the key words for any of that stuff.
There you go.
And it was a classic video.
Man, you said
I
it
just
with,
about dropped my phone laughing.
You said it with conviction. I was like, they're pulling.
So much conviction.
He said that, I'm like, they are pulling. Jeff's going to speak it into existence.
Right.
Well, we were driving from Rock Valley to Rockwell to watch you knuckleheads and trying to decide what's going on. And Hothem's like, we're going pulling. He's saying this while it's raining in the parking lot of the Mexican restaurant. So I'm like, okay, I'm an optimist too. Everybody that's been around me, I've put on poles when I should have pulled the plug. So it's all good.
Right. That was a shame too, because those guys out there did that.
After that video was shot, I ruined a set of vans in the pit area trying to make shit happen. So I'll just go in there.
I was getting ready to say those guys did a heck of a job out there, and I felt really bad for those guys out there at Rockwell. I mean, they put their hearts and souls into that place and had an awesome track, and it just was terrible that the weather didn't cooperate. But you know what? That's Mother Nature. Can't do it any different way. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be.
We were glad to have you there, buddy. I never got the chance to thank you, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you for coming. We really did have a great time.
No problem.
Rain or not. I mean, we spent 45 minutes talking trash in your hauler in a downpour.
Yes, we did.
And it was one of the best 45 minutes I've spent in a long time.
Right. You know, listen, you come over to the fully loaded trailer, you're always going to have a good time. I mean, you know that. You guys are more having a great time.
Amen. The sound system isn't going, we're talking trash. And vice versa.
Right.
Little known fact for all of you who are watching at home who don't know Jeff is also a heck of a DJ. His hauler is always kind of party central.
He's also got the biggest screen TV in any hauler you're going to find.
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes that creates a little bit of troubles, but you know, it's okay. Everybody gets over it.
So just a friendly reminder, everybody please text RJ Simon at 563-580-3304. Tell them you want the unlimited supers back in Farley, Iowa in 2023.
And we want Jeff in the mod.
Which is it now? I thought we want the unlimited supers or I'm driving the mod. Which is it?
Well,
why not ask for both? RJ's done crazier things.
No, that is true. The truth be told, I'd rather have the supers back at the. Not that I would turn down the opportunity to drive one of the mods, but I would rather have the supers back there if I had to take my pick. But anywho,
maybe we can maybe we can kill two birds with one stone.
From the team that created the Pullers Championship, we present to you both opportunities.
Oh my lordy!
I hope Simon gets. We have 222 people watching live right now, so I'm hoping that we can pin that down. So.
Yeah.
Jeff, you're a great ambassador for the sport. The first time I really got to meet you was at Louisville, my first and only year down there. I got to sit next to you at the autograph table, and that was pretty awesome.
I remember that. That was hilarious.
Yes, we raised so much.
Why the hell would anybody want Jason Schultz's autograph?
I believe that question was asked by Jeff.
Yeah, I was kind of the pedal tractor at the table. If you looked at the classes, it was kind of like I kind of looked down oh, this is pretty neat that I'm here.
And here's your pull-off tractor.
Oh my! No, that was a good time. I still remember that to this day, Jason. We had a blast, and it's not been the same since you haven't been back.
Well, I gotta win a points championship to get back there, so we'll see how that goes. So.
Pitter patter, let's get at her. Come on,
let's get at her.
Attaboy.
Yes. But Jeff,
Appreciate
you're
the
great.
Letterkenny reference.
That's right, Letterkenny.
I love what we love what you do for pulling. We love the sponsorship that you're bringing. The notarization of it. We can get sponsors in this sport, so thank you for that. And then thank you so much from the bottom of all of our hearts for helping us with our dream, and that's this Pullers Championship. And everybody likes you. I think everybody respects you. We're not going to get into that right now, but everybody likes you.
Half and half with some, that's all right.
We'll take it. Hey, Jeff, before we let you go, I do have one serious question. And this is for the pullers out there who are having problems getting sponsorships. What's step one, Jeff?
It's not easy. Okay. It's not easy to acquire sponsors. You have to actively, there's multiple steps. And I've told everybody, reach out to me. I've got no problem, helping people out and try to gather things. We've actually come full circle now. We've actually have a binded, laminated portfolio that we hand out to potential sponsors. You have to have something to sell to a company before they're going to give you any money. And by sell, I mean everything that you see at our trailer. A business name on the tablecloth. I know it's simple, but it's a spot on the tablecloth, on the hero cards, on our shirts that we sell to the fans. The flags on top of the trailer, the flags on the bottom of the trailer. Every logo, every inch, every centimeter on that tractor has been paid for by the sponsors' names that you see there. You have to have stuff to sell. So until you get something to sell to them, you're not going to be able to be very successful, or you might get a couple of people that quote unquote feel bad for you and give you a couple $100 here and there. But to land something that is beneficial, you need to have your stuff together, your package together, as far as what you're able to give them in return for them giving you cash or product or however you work your sponsorships out. You have to do that. You have to be organized. You have to, just like, the TV airtime, we in our contracts, we don't guarantee TV airtime because nobody can guarantee TV airtime. It's whether or not they get you on screen and whether they do or they don't, and whether Leslie comes and interviews you or she doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason to it. So you can't promise that, but you actually have to have stuff. Look, you have the opportunity to have your company name be seen on the tractor on not just one time airing, because it's rerun on MAV TV Plus on numerous times, RFD TV numerous times throughout the season or throughout the winter, or however you present it to them. It's not just a one and done type thing. You have to think outside the box enough to where you've got, and I'll say it again, you've got to have something that you can sell them for what they're going to get, their return on investment, their ROI. What are they going to get? They're giving you $10,000. What are they going to get back for that? We have stuff on our website. We do social media. We do tagging. All the stuff and everything we tag on social media, everything that's on our website, it's paid for in some form, some way through the sponsors, and that's what they get for the sponsorship. So I get, does that answer the question, or did I kind of dodge around it? I mean,
no, you did. The point that I was trying to make is that in order to pull in a sponsor, you have to have something that they want.
Yes,
and
absolutely. You
all have something that they want. All of you guys out there right now who wish that you were sponsored, who wish that your tractor was wrapped in blaster stuff. You all have something that they want. It's up to you to figure out, put pencil to paper and figure out what that is. I've looked at Jeff's sponsorship packet. It's 30 pages. I mean, and this is not meant to try and scare anybody. It really and truly isn't. You can do this. They can help. Jeff can point you in the right direction. I can, right. Cody can, Posh can, all of us. And all of us are pretty easy to track down on social media. Right. If you have questions about that kind of stuff, ask about it. Because I've heard lots of people talk about how, crying and kind of, complaining, well, we can't get sponsors. Well, what are you doing to attract them?
Right. And what we've done to make it easier, and well, at least we think anyway, is we've revised this whole sponsorship portfolio. Well, Ryan, since you've seen it, it's probably been revised 2 or 3 times. We're on completely something different than what you've seen so far. But anyway, we've developed what I call sponsorship tiers. And basically what that is 6 different tiers that start out at, starts out at $2,500 and it goes all the way up to $60,000 with a 3-year commitment reoccurring at $60,000 each year. And the $2,500 gets you, if I remember right, it's like an 8x10 decal on the side of the tractor annually. The $5,000 tier is the next tier. That gets you, saying, a 12x15 decal with this, and this. Okay. Then the next step is, well, you get everything that was included in the tier 1, tier 2, plus you get this. So and those are not rigid things within that sponsorship. Okay. If they like, well, I'd rather have a feather flag on top of the trailer as opposed to a feather flag down on the bottom, on the ground level. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. That's no problem. The stuff is not set in stone. These are just based on ideas or what I think that people maybe or companies, potential sponsors would be interested in. And that's kind of how we've done it. And that's kind of what we've developed in order for a simplistic way to present this is what we have to offer. We want, in turn from you, we want this. And that seems to work. And another thing I'll tell you too is that I wanted to say earlier, it helps if you know somebody somewhere that can get you started, even if it's small, something that'll get you, I don't want to put a number on it, but something small. Don't go for a big fish right away. You're going to kill yourself. Number one, you're going to waste your time. Number 2 is you're going to kill yourself trying to do so. Number 3, you ain't going to get anything because nobody knows you, because let's just face it, the sport of truck and tractor pulling is not NASCAR. Okay. So you've got to be cautious on how you approach and what you approach. But once you get your foot in the door, start running with it and build and build and build and build. To get to where we have been so very fortunate to be at now, it's taken 11 years. Because we didn't do anything with sponsorships prior to in the diesel days. We didn't start sponsorships probably till 2000. Well, the end of 10, 11 is kind of when Napa first came on board. But we're just now getting very grateful for the amount of effort that we've put into it, and it's taken 11 years to get here. So it's not going to happen quick. If it does happen quick, God love you. More power to you. Ride it as long as you can and knock yourself out. Yep. But I'm telling you, it's not going to happen quick.
Jeff, that's awesome, Jeff. One final question on the screen there.
Jerry, what can I get for $100? Oh, Jerry.
Depends on how many cases of glass jars there are involved as well.
Now
enough cases of glass jars, you might be able to get fathead on the hood.
Right. Yeah. If you actually, Jerry, you can just keep your $100 and just send over a couple of glass jars. We'll call it good.
World exclusive Napa sponsorship. What's Ron Capps doing next year?
I can't answer that question.
Good man. Way to protect it. Good job.
Cannot answer that question. I can't answer that question.
If we go to PRI this year, do we see you?
That's coming up here, wasn't it? But it's about 2 weeks, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm to be honest, I've never been there. I probably need to make an appearance.
Go.
Yeah, that's Indy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That might not be a bad little getaway there. We'll have to see. Like I said, I've never been. I've always wanted to go. I just never, now that I know you guys are going to be there, I'll probably stay away. But I would be more than happy to come see you.
Now, there goes my offer to register you in my name.
Yeah.
Oh, Charles, I love you.
Seriously, if you want to go, I will register you in my name. You can go. Because I can't make it. So if you want to go, hit me up.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk off the show here, and we'll see what. Yeah, let me see what's going on here. Let me check my schedule and everything. See what we got going. But
Jeffrey,
yeah,
thank you for your time.
No problem, guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be live on your show, and I hope you fans enjoyed it out there. Thanks, guys, for all your hard work. I know we didn't get to, I'm feeling kind of bad. We didn't really get to talk about the Pullers Championship poll hardly at all. Are you guys going to talk about it after I'm gone, or?
Yeah, we got Clint Tucker. Clint Tucker's
okay.
waiting to come on next to talk about Shipshewana. So I want to get him on a little bit, and yeah, it's all good.
So what you're saying is I ought to shut up and let Clint get on so he can go to bed too, then, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, he'll talk for like 4 hours. So.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Here, I thought I was long-winded.
No, you haven't met Tucker.
Right. All right, guys. Well, have a good evening. Thanks so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Jesse, good to hear your voice. Tell mom and dad I said hello.
Do that. Guys, take care. Good seeing you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
That was good. That was good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Jeff's a hoot.
Tucker, can you hear us?
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, the floor is yours, Mr. Tucker. Shipshewana, January 13th through the 15th. Like I said, Shipshewana, Indiana, the Midwest Winter Nationals. Tucker, you have battled COVID, the Amish Mafia, the state of Indiana, the governor. You've battled Illinois. I mean, you've done it all, buddy, and you still got these shows going on. How is 2022 shaping up for you, sir?
Well, 18 years ago this week, we started this nonsense. And I guess we're still going. We started this the Monday before Thanksgiving. I called the Foresters out in Pennsylvania and a bunch of my super farm buddies, and we put our first one together in 2005, and we did it the first week of February there in Gordyville. We looked at about two or three different buildings before anybody let us in, and we're still rolling.
How hard was it to sell the Hannigans on letting a bunch of rowdy rednecks come in and pull tractors in their horse barn? I've never asked you that question. I've always wondered.
Well, Ruse, to be honest with you, I was actually in your state. The first place I went was a Unidome.
Yeah.
And the first 3 hours of the meeting went well. And then they told me to get out of the building.
So something turned.
We didn't know what we were doing. When we put together a really nice little presentation to show them, we were using the template of what we were doing up there at Fort Wayne, and they dug that, especially when I started showing them trucks and mods and stuff. And then we started looking at tractors going down a track with smoke pipes on, and something bad had happened out there. And then they were disinterested after that. And I said, well, all of our tractors will go down a track with a smoke pipe on and a smoke machine. And it was pretty much done after that. So then it was
like a light switch, huh?
Yeah.
No kidding.
I think the guys before us might have got the roof dirty. And that was a deal breaker. But thank God that I had a lot of friends in the pulling game. We found that little auction barn, and I was really hesitant until we dug a little hole in the floor of it. There's black dirt underneath there. So I think I can make a track out of that. So we tried it, and we got lucky. It worked. And for 16 years, we had a pretty good time there, and we were prepared to go back there in this year, but they gave our date away. So the pullers and the fans say, stay up where you're at. We made a lot of pretty hard to make business decisions, and we're going back up here again. And looking forward to working with the Mac, and hopefully we get some good weather and it all works out.
How's Travis, the dirt guy? You talked to him lately?
Haven't talked to Travis. He was still on the combine. last week. So was I. I basically got done harvesting middle of the night on Tuesday. Come home, did my computer work and my paperwork for the business that actually makes a living, and then we went to our PPL Western Series banquet Friday. Came back home yesterday, and today was actually the very first day I actually started working on stuff for the pool. We sent out the vendor packets today. Started going through the box seat paperwork. I just let it stack up here because it's just been too busy. And we got some box seats still available. A couple on the smoke tube side, probably 2 or 3 on the starting line of the I call it the west side, non-smoke tube side. We got them available still. If anybody's interested, just Facebook message me or Ryan, and we'll get you taken care of. It's a better deal to own a box seat than it is buy a ticket. But
especially if you're going with a group, right?
Oh yeah.
How big does a group have to be to make it a better deal all the way around?
8. You got to have eight buddies, and they're pit passes all weekend. Anywhere you want to go. Only thing you can't do is go running down the track. It's a better deal. This is our first year we ever did online pre-registration, and that went over fantastic. We got full classes, and most of the classes, we're struggling with a couple, but they have their own personal demons. The light pro class is going to be very, very good. We still got probably 3 or 4 more guys trying to get there. Hot farms are full. We are probably 85-90% full on total entries. So I think it's going to be just as good as last year, if not better. The building wants us to get done a little bit earlier. They don't like the marathon stuff like we used to do at Gordyville, but we're doing our best to accommodate everybody. But hopefully, now that everybody's kind of getting calmed down with harvest, the whole crew of us that do this, we can start making this one reality and make it happen. And then we have another one that we're going to do in conjunction with Holzhauer, like you guys are doing the first week in March in DuQuoin at that facility.
DuQuoin is that 2 nights, Tucker? Is that 2 sessions? Or?
It has actually 3 sessions.
Okay.
Brad has an idea, and we're going to try to make it work for him. He wants to run six classes. They run twice, Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and the 10 farthest distances out of both competitions go to the final on Saturday night.
Cool. What classes are they having in DuQuoin, Clint?
We're going to have the 85 limited pros and the 4-1s like we always do. We're going to have, PPL rules of light supers, the little mods on Nebraska Bush rules, Grand National mini rods, and 2-wheel drive trucks.
Nice.
And the Grand National mini rods and 2-wheel drive trucks, my wife and I are looking for like a small desktop grandfather clock that we're going to give out to the winners on Saturday night in memory of Larry Kester and Johnny Moomaw.
That's awesome.
So I keep trying to get a hold of Paul, but he keeps call screening me. I think he wants me. He keeps thinking I need him to do something. But,
Paul was in an attic up to his neck in insulation when you called. So yes,
that's terrible.
I will be calling you back.
So your phone doesn't work in the attic, Paul?
My phone was downstairs.
Okay.
Are you still itchy?
Paul, we do have
trying to take a freaking shower right now.
Paul, we do have a meeting Saturday morning here about Shipshawana and DuQuoin if you have time.
Okay.
In the garage. Brooke's making a ton of food. And, of course, the rest of the rowdies will be here.
Copy that.
What specific information you want to get out to the pullers tonight and or the spectators, like about tickets or registration. I mean, I've been kind of scrolling through the website as you've been talking. I got the link put into the chat. Anything that you want to specifically say?
Well, the tickets are different this year. Zolix got it to where you buy them, print them off, and bring them in. We got scanners now. We can scan them. That's different. We were pretty archaic in the past. It just send in tickets. And so if you buy a ticket, you got to print it off and bring it in, and the girls will scan it, get you in the door. Pre-sale tickets are a little cheaper than at the door. We have capabilities. People keep saying, well, we don't know if they can come or not. We don't want you to get sold out. That place will hold about 3,500, full. We have several pre-sale tickets already. That's a good thing. It's the hotel, the difference between my poll and Louisville is Mike Witt's not a travel agent, but we have to be trying to find hotels for people. Shipshewan's sold out. Goshen's got plenty of hotels up on the toll road. There's some hotels up there. You're going to have to find one because in town they're full. But that's a good indication that there's going to be a lot of people there. And because we have, like I said, we got tons of tractors already. We have more tractors now than we did last year at this time. And like I said, the hot farm class is full, light pros are full. The only thing we're struggling on is light limited, but they got their own demons. I don't know how to fix that deal. But we're getting a few more diesel trucks in every day, and it's going to be a really, really good show.
Well, that facility is amazing, Clint. I mean, I know it's really expensive to have that at the MEC, but man, we talk about like an awesome indoor facility. I don't think anybody can disagree, Clint, that's amazing. So,
well, it's one of those deals you get what you pay for, and the long track, the nice heated pit area, it's just better for the fans up there. It's a little longer drive for the people from Missouri and Iowa and Minnesota, but I think it's worth it once you get there. It's worth it. And the people up there that we deal with, there's no anytime you have any problems, there's somebody there to solve it. So it's a good facility. Happy to be there, proud to be there, and hopefully this year we'll get through a little hiccups we had last year and be a little smoother show, a little faster show, and everybody really enjoy it.
Clint, is the super farm class full?
The super farm class is full.
It is, okay.
But if we have waiting lists for every class, because I know dynos eat a few tractors this time of year. So if a guy is interested in coming, just email me and I'll put you on the waiting list. And then if something bad, unfortunate would happen to one of the guys already pre-entered, we will get a hold of you as soon as possible and get you on the list.
Clint, what is it? Clint, what's your email, bud?
Clint@whatsmoking.net.
Hey, Clint, what does sponsorship look like? You got any sponsor spots left? Trying to fill still?
We just started that today. All the classes are available. To put your name on the class. You get your name on the little trophies we give out, and there's a few perks to go with that. Last year we had almost all the classes sold. I think this year, I probably got 70 or 80% of them already spoke for. Just never sent out anything till this week, because like I said, I was in a combine till Tuesday night. But
fair enough.
We're gonna get aggressive with it and try to get all the class. Because we'd like to have every class sold, and we'd like to have every class sold by Christmas, and start reaching out to people right now. A lot of people still don't believe we're gonna be able to go up here and pull, and I was like, I think we're good to go now. Big Ten basketball rolls, we roll. No big deal. It's good to go. And we won't wear the stupid. Hopefully, we won't wear the stupid masks either.
Agreed. It's still a smoking deal. $115 for a weekend pass for all of that. I mean, you can't beat that with the big stick, right, Paul? So.
Right, there's going to be 500. There's going to be 500 passes during the week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bring it.
And Woody's absolutely elated because the Wamba class is at capacity. It's going to be the biggest classic mod show indoors ever.
You're paying 23 cents for a truck or tractor. That's what it costs you for $115 weekend pass. 23 cents just per vehicle as a fan. So that was quick math. So, pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have questions like, can we walk around the pit area? And absolutely, you can walk around the pit area till 2 hours for the show every day, and meet the pullers and stuff. But we just don't allow a lot of fans back here because we have to move everything around. It's kind of controlled chaos back there. But yeah, we try to do all we can for the fans, and hopefully this year the MEC realizes the amount of people that's coming in there, and then both sides of the building they'll have food and beverages and be ready for us, because last year I think they weren't quite ready for what we brought. I think they'll be more prepared this year.
More pretzel stands.
Yeah, more pretzel stands and more beer stands.
That too.
God, those pretzels are amazing.
That's why you're fat, Paul.
Hey, I'm fine with it. Took me 42 years to build this temple.
Wow.
Clint, what are you and Justin thinking for a worthy cause this year? Has anything presented itself?
I just talked to Justin tonight. I think we're going to build a mechanical bull for Thurman Munford Jr.
Good call.
That's perfect. That is utterly perfect.
Donate all the money to his family. Because Thurman pulled with us. I enjoyed a lot of time with Thurman, his dad and his son. I mean, I actually went out there to their place in 1995, videoed a couple pulls that Thurman was kind of involved with out there. And yeah, it's a tragic deal, and I hate that we have those kind of things, but whenever you deal with as many pullers as we do at our events, and this kind of stuff occurs. And Thurman was a great guy. Enjoyed drinking whiskey with him. Enjoyed getting to visit with him out there in the cold pit area of Gordyville. And hate that he's gone. And if we can build a toy and put a few dollars in his family's pocket, I think that's what we're going to do.
That's awesome. I like that a lot.
Yeah, Clint, it always sucks that there's a reason to have a cause like this. I mean, nobody wants that, but we all hope it's never one of us. But the fact that we do it and everybody rallies, and Big Rye, your beard's about sort of back to where it was.
Oh, it's all the way back.
It's all the way back. Okay.
By the time we get to the weekend in January, it'll be good. We'll be good. And I'll bring clippers myself, so Kando Howell doesn't need to come and run for him. But y'all are going to have to pony up to do it.
That's awesome, Ryan. Thank you so much. We can't cut Cole's hair off this year because Cole's going to stiff us, because I think Cole is going to go race at Bristol with his Hornet car. She's not going to be at Shipshawana. Can't take enough vacation time off.
Well, I say then we just need to shave his head or shave his, whatever crazy hairstyle he's got rolling the next time we all see him. Just kind of on principle, and then take all the money out of his wallet and give it to the Munfords.
I have a feeling that there's a certain someone that might have something to say about that. Miss Katie.
Yeah, he's got like a real girlfriend now.
Yeah.
We'll call it aerodynamics. His car will be faster.
There you go.
I'm just proud that one of the What Smoking guys is going to race at Bristol.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm not going to lie.
If you ever in the central part of Illinois and Cole's racing a Hornet, it's worth to go in the pit area with him, because it's hilarious. I went twice this year and I had a blast. It's a different kind of motorsports. I've never been around much, but I actually enjoyed my time watching Cole go around in the circle.
Well, Clint, the one question that we ask every Unlimited Super and Diesel Super, well, how they feel about Diesel Supers and Alki Supers pulling together. The one question you get all the time is, are we ever going back to Rantoul again? How do you answer that to everybody?
I don't know right now.
Do you want to go back, Clint?
The building at Gordyville is where we're from. You never want to burn a bridge. They replaced us with I think a horse auction this year. The family's going through some things right now, and Jeff Suits is kind of my local guy there, and he told me that it'd probably just be best if we went back up there and did our show up there and let the fans decide what they want to do in the future. And so as of right now, we're going to be pulling at the Mac from this point forward until somebody changes their mind.
Fair enough. That was one of the questions we had to ask. I know you can't see them because you're on audio only, but that was one of the questions in the chat. So, well, we started pushing it on our social media platforms the last couple of weeks. We're doing daily shares about the event. Zolik sent me a flyer today. So, yeah, I think it's all eyes on Shipshewana, Clint, right now. So,
well, I think the guys in Lexington are going to be able to pull theirs off in a couple weeks before us, and then we'll fill in behind them, and then I think we're off into Louisville. So, and hopefully that everything in March works out for Ken out Kansas City and Melissa out there in Lincoln. So March is going to be pretty full. Our show in DuQuoin is, we wanted to make sure it was a lot different than our show in Shipshewana, because you don't want to do the same thing over and over again. We tried that and failed, but the DuQuoin deal will be very interesting. The environment down there is a lot different. The building's amazing. The dirt's pretty good, and hopefully we can get that all figured out for Brad, because first time Brad's promoted an event inside, and I've warned him. I was like, it's different, but he's fearless, and we'll figure it out. We'll get it done for him.
That's full 300 in there too, right, Tucker?
That's about 270.
Okay. Because I was going through YouTube, I found some old Diesel Super videos from DuQuoin back when you had that event there. I think that was yours. So
yeah, there's nobody pulled there besides us. The nice thing about DuQuoin is actually that building was made to run micro sprints and midgets in it. The ventilation in that facility is amazing.
Okay,
nice.
All the alcohol stuff in there, it won't bother you.
Perfect. Well, Tucker, do you got anything else, or we'll let you go, bud?
No, I mean, I appreciate you guys, everything you do. I've been getting a lot of questions about you guys' pull in Nashville. Like, my hat's off to you. That's going to be a really neat deal. Hope the weather leaves you alone. Those boys got.
You're going to be there. What the hell do you care? You're going to be there.
Hopefully I am. We're
not taking no for an answer. You could park that planner for a day or two.
Hopefully I'm done.
Well, that works too. Just grab another gear while you're doing it, and you'll be fine.
There we go.
I'm behind you guys. I'm behind you guys 100%. And I think what you guys are doing. I think what you guys are doing down there is what needs to be done in this game. Basically, what you're doing is kind of what we did. This is a lot bigger scale, and outside, the indoor stuff and the outdoor stuff. That's kind of an invite yourself deal. Is it cleans things up? It makes things a little more professional because guys want to be there, and I think this is the first effort of a lot of things that's going to probably develop like this in the future. And guys that want to go like your championship pull there, those are the guys that care about the game. And if we want to take ourselves to the next level, this is a very good first step.
That means a lot coming from you, Tucker.
Yeah, we appreciate the vote of confidence, buddy. You know that.
Well, we all know without Holzhauer, none of us have the stones to do this. So thank you, Brad Holzhauer. So,
well, Brad's fearless, but Brad's been around a lot of different kind of motorsports than just tractor pulling.
yep, junior dragsters and everything.
Yep.
The boats
and
yep.
You know, he sponsored Pro Stock Drag cars. And I was that St. Louis the day the car he was sponsoring, the gal got a Wally, and that was awesome. But you know, Brad's philosophy in motorsports is very unique, and I'm lucky to have him as a friend, and I'm lucky to have that facility so close. I've drug a lot of my outdoor stuff to his facility, and a lot of guys was really hesitant because most of my guys, you know, live out west, and every year it gets better. And John Wagner, I like to pick on Johnny. He always complains about having to pull in Illinois. It was a Western Series. Why are you pulling in Illinois? And he was the first guy to sign up for the 85 Limited Pro. And let me tell you, this week at my banquet, I let him know about it.
I hope you call him the Walrus too.
He does have a walrus mustache going.
I've never actually said it to him in person, but God, I want to.
Leroy had a lot of questions about the mustache this weekend at the banquet.
I love it. Tucker, thanks for all that you do. Anytime you want to come on, you know, we'll really start hammering you mid-December on, but because leading up to the event, it's one of my favorite indoor polls because of the fact that you give a Hot Farms and Pro Farms and the classes that this is their Louisville. I've always said that.
Sure.
I've always say that. That's why I always have your back for the way you blend all these classes together. It's like a big malted milkshake of craziness. So
no, it's not easy. There's an army of people behind me, and I'm just an idiot that tries to keep it all together. But you know, I don't know the guy here in the right corner, but the rest of you guys have been behind me 100% the whole time, and it wasn't for all of you guys' effort, this wouldn't happen. And it kind of seems like it's happening easier this year than ever, but I know in the next 6 weeks we're going to have some things. We got some things brewing for the Light Pros. We're trying to come up with some big carrots for the winners, and hopefully we can announce that here in the next couple of weeks. We're also trying to try to get a few more other little sideline things done. We want to announce our class sponsors every day when we get one. You know, I can tell you right now, Jeff Suits Farm Repairs, you know, already come on board and sponsoring a couple classes, and Heritage Iron's been bugging me that they're wanting to get their name on some classes, because you know it's kind of a race, because they try to pick out the cool stuff right off the get-go. and we're excited and really appreciate all the help. We're not the most aggressive promoters in the world. You guys help us out a lot with that. We're all just old farmers and old tractor pullers, but we're trying to make the track the best we can. Donnie Bungart and I and JR, we were talking about trying to make the smoke tube better. Donnie's got some just unbelievable ideas how to make the smoke tube stay together this year, and it's going to be quite an investment and quite a ton of work to get that thing put together like we are planning to do it, to where it doesn't come apart. Because our event at Shipshawana is pretty unique. Nobody's smoke tube goes down the track any faster than there, and that is a, Justin Hopkins, I think last year almost went 35 miles an hour to hit the sand pile.
Yep.
And our smoke tube, that's hard on it, and they're trying to figure out how to make it to where that's not a problem. And working with the best sled guys in the nation and the best smoke tube, it's a lot of planning to do this. When it's perfect, it looks like it's no big deal, but we're doing everything we can to pre-plan and try to make this thing go perfect this year, because last year we had a few hiccups. We don't want them anymore. Well, we want to be able to.
Are we going to get an interesting muscle tractor to bed the sled this time?
Well, I kind of always throw that on Sherry at Heritage Iron, and but if anybody's got any ideas, that's we're always up for suggestions, as long as it doesn't smoke the whole building up. That Amish guy does not like that. I had a nice conversation with Kevin Moore this weekend, and I sure hate that he can't come run, but until we get about a dozen of those little guys, we can put a smoke tube on the mini rod sled. Kevin's just a supporter and behind us 100%. He can't come in there and play anymore. But stay tuned. You can come out and see him out west with us this summer.
Yeah, you added the small block mini rods. You want to talk about that a little bit, Western Series?
Yeah, we had a nice little meeting on Saturday. We're gonna add that class. We're trying to. I had some conversations today with some of the competition directors of NHRA, trying to figure out how to combine a 671 blower with a mini rod that has turbos on it.
Mike Evans.
Yeah, we're having that conversation, and because right now the rules are the little blown mini rod's going to have a 671 blower, and the turbo mini rods really have no rules. Well, in this day and age with turbochargers and what's going on in drag racing, that could become a problem. So we're trying to figure that out to where those guys have a template, and they know how big of turbos they can put on them and keep everything kind of on a level playing field.
That's Charles. You probably are just licking your chops, aren't you?
I'm loving thinking about it, but as far as what the answer is, I don't have one. I don't know where to set that line at.
Well, been talking back and forth a little bit on emails with the guys at Pro Chargers today, and hopefully we'll get something figured out.
And then Clint, is the Western Series putting in like that Outlaw Pro Stock class? What are you guys calling it? Is that it? I was at the Outlaw banquet this weekend. That was a rumor that I heard.
Yeah. Of course, last year the topic we was thinking about allowing components in the 4-1 class, which everybody has their opinion on.
Jason loves that idea, by the way.
Hey, Paul, why don't you go back to the attic and stuff your head in that insulator there, kiddo.
So the guys that kind of wanted to do that, I've talked to each and every one of them individually, and we decided in lieu of that, they would just go on up and we would do Pro Stock. And I got to watch the Outlaw Pro Stocks last year at Mexico and got to spend some time with them this year at Buckner, because we all kind of pulled together and got to visit with a bunch of them. And we decided, in lieu of component 4-1s, maybe we would just make these tractors go on up, put the billet pumps on, put 5-inch turbos on them. And the guys that run with me day in and day out, they decided that's kind of the direction they wanted to go. We'll only have 3 or 4, maybe 5 proprietary tractors to us. We're not out here trying to steal Outlaws Pro Stock class, so they have a great Pro Stock class, and we're not going to try to book on top of them. We're trying to bait them away from them, because that's just dumb. But we will start this. The whole reason why the whole Western Series got started is because some of the same guys wasn't allowed to pull with Outlaws for a while. Doug had made a decision to make it a small block class only, and I had guys with case tractors and big block deer tractors that couldn't compete with him anymore. And that's basically how the Western Series got started. It was a bunch of misfit toy 4-1 guys, and so some of the same ones are the ones that are wanting to go component and the 4-1s, and now we're just going to go ahead and go and build the components or build the weird caster in tractors and just put 680 motors in them and the 5-inch turbo on, and go that direction. I think that will calm everything down and hopefully keep everybody happy for a little bit longer.
No, I love it. I love it. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm not saying the 5-inch Weimer turbo is the right answer. My personal opinion was I just wanted to go to any 5-inch smoothbore turbo, but that come with a lot of resistance from some. I won't name any names, but I don't like going in a box. But for right now, I guess that's what we're doing. I'm not the happiest about it, but I'm just trying to steer it. I'm trying to work for the promoters, and then that way I don't promise them something that I can't provide. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and tell them I'm going to have 10 tractors in this class, but just the same way with the light pros. I think, Outlaws and we have a pretty good relationship working back and forth. We kind of share them. Maybe we can share a couple pro stocks and make it all work, because, we got to work together, or it's never going to work. It's never going to work at all.
No, that 5-inch class has a lot of potential, so that's neat. I've watched it with the Outlaws as well, and they sound good. They make good smoke, that's for sure. So,
well, the difference between PPL pro stocks and Outlaw pro stocks is Outlaw pro stocks still have their eyes open from 250 on.
Yep.
The PPL guys, they got their eyes closed to play. The hood's going to come clear over the top of the roll cage.
Yep.
But they're cool. I mean, 4,000 horse pro stocks are cool. I've been watching all this stuff on pull-off.com, and I just think it's hilarious. I want to get on there so bad, and it's like not all pro stocks are created the same.
No.
There is a difference. The guys that run NTPA Grand National and the guys that run the Champion Stir, those guys are the dudes. There's actually three levels of pro stocks in the United States. I enjoy all of them, but there's guys that run state, there's guys that run outlaw, and there's guys that run the Champion Stir and the NTPA, and those guys that run that big series with the big turbos and run them hard, my hat's off to them. That's an investment of time, money, and
sanity.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, this is the first year I know in the last 4 or 5. I haven't got to speak to Mike Witt personally yet. He's on my list of people to call and aggravate here now that I'm done harvesting. But there's actually more pro stocks entered at Louisville than he has spots, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really?
Nice. That's
been
good
a while.
to hear.
Yeah, that's always been we've always heard that's been a fight. So
you're going to get your money's worth under this year. There's going to be some pretty serious efforts to go down that little track in Freedom Hall. It's going to be a great deal.
Cool. Well, Clint, good luck at SHIP. We're going to keep pushing it for you. You know that. Just
Appreciate
let us know
it.
what you need to get out there. Thank you for the compliments on the Pullers Championship. We're all really excited about that. We have a lot of work ahead of us yet, but we have a good team of us. And happy Thanksgiving to you and the fam. So
yeah, thank you guys so much for all you guys do. And Charles, you got a minute? You get done tonight, give me a shout, and I want to visit a minute.
All right.
You got to. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
See you, bud.
See you, man.
See you, Tuck.
Sir Tucker says it best. So, well, boys, we're at $1:44 for time, so we'll never get a show done.
I like how we discuss. We need to start cutting this down so it's about an hour long, and
Yep.
we do a great job
Yeah,
of it.
you're right on that.
Yeah. We do. Half of our crowd is gone, but I mean, the half that's still here. But it is. Mackenzie downloads this now. I think one of you told me to do that, and the last 2 or 3 weeks is now on Spotify and iTunes. I ran into a lot of pullers at Diesels and Dark Corners that said we can't stay up as late as you knuckleheads, but we'd like to listen to it during the day at work. One of them was a Van Hazley truck, or a truck that comes from the Hazley shop. Well, most diesel trucks come from the Hazley shop, but you know what I'm saying. They like to listen to the podcast, so the podcast is up. This will be on iTunes and Spotify tomorrow before noon. So on Let's Grow Pulling. So that's pretty cool. So,
You must be talking about Asher and that crew.
I am.
And Hucky and
Yep. I am. So Paul, we don't care what you have to say. Brent, you got anything good for the people?
Just working on. Well, it was only just Charles and Jason, myself, at the last meeting on Thursday. But we did reach out to we believe every puller now has been officially contacted. They know about it. So
they've been served.
December 30. What?
They've been served.
They served their papers.
So they have till the end of the day, 11:59 p.m. Central Time on December 31st to get their registration in. If there's any pullers out there that need some assistance, just reach out to me. Contact information is on the website or just message the Facebook page. I did help one puller tonight get registered. So if you're having issues, just let me know. We can always do it over the phone. So I've been working a lot on that. Been posting commitments as they come in, obviously one by one. So I'm scheduling those out now. So those should be out every single day until we run out of them. And then once we finish the fan voting, which we'll be starting on January 3rd, we'll do the same thing with the fan voted ones as well. So be on the lookout for more information on that. Come probably after Christmas. And then for WTPA side of things, got our banquet in 3 weeks. December 9th, I believe it is WTPA banquet. So I have a couple things I need to do for that. And also, anybody wants to sponsor the Pullers Championship, I will have a form that should be on the website by Wednesday. Is the goal. So hopefully awesome. Going to have a vendor one as well. So if anybody's looking for a vendor spot, that will be on there with more information, as well as the size of vendor spots that will be available.
So this is our most recent premiere, right? Brent, the most recent one?
Yep.
Justin Hoffman.
So he is, I guess I'll tease a little bit, but he is he was our sixth person to commit, and we currently have 28 that have paid in about 10 days. And we've heard from about 7 or 8 others that verbally have committed. They just haven't paid yet. So we are approaching about 40% if those verbally pullers commit as well, of the initial entries the initial invites that went out, and promoter choices.
I think we'll see a lot of people commit, get signed up over the holidays. Brent, they got a little time to sit down, get out of the field and different things like that. So
yeah, and every day I swear I have at least one person reaching out about stuff. And it does sound like there's going to be a couple pullers that won't be able to make it. One we know because they're going to a pizza truck, according to Jason.
Just keep going.
That one right there, the one you just brought up, the Bartling Farms 85 Limited Pro, it has just been released. Mr. Esden Bartling will be piloting that ship. Danny has given him the green light. He just posted it today. So you're going to see Esden take on the best of the best in the 85s.
Yep.
I bet he's just not excited at all.
Oh, he's peed his pants a couple times today, I'm sure.
Yeah. So then also, I have heard from 1 or 2 pullers that they aren't 100% sure if they're going to commit yet or not, just due to the farming aspect of things, which we understand. But we're going to make sure to fill those spots with fan boats or find somebody to replace it if it's in a promoter's choice class. So we will we'll definitely fill things out. They're coming in quicker and quicker, so things are going fast.
So Adam, I use speak to text in our group chat a lot, and I was saying super stock diesel trucks, and I talk too fast, and everybody knows that, and it came out on my chat as super stock pizza. What was it?
Yep, super stock pizza truck.
Super stock pizza trucks.
Which would be probably like one of the most badass things in the world. Just kind of throwing that out there.
Well, I got to thinking about that. What would be on a super stock? 3 or 4 turbos, right? Some fuel lines,
some ovens.
Yep.
It'd be a lot like that van that you and I saw, Ryan, that pulling van that was wicked cool.
Yes.
We could do that.
We could also build a bus.
Yeah, that ranks higher on the priority list.
Probably a little bit.
Charles, what's going through your mind?
Just getting through the week. I'm going to go scope out some antique pullers this coming weekend in Waseon, Ohio, and scout out to get ready for NATPA's visit to Michigan coming in second weekend of December. And, no off season for me. Let's go.
Let's go. Cody?
Working through pictures. Spent the weekend down at the Ozarks with the Outlaw Banquet and working through pictures from different various things and some videos. And we'll kind of see what kind of comes next. January is going to be full. February is going to be full. So kind of fly by the seat of your pants type of thing. Full-time job, part-time jobs, It's calving season about that time for us. We like the real cold weather. We're kind of diehards for that, so it'll be fun.
Joe Hurd's awake, guys. He's one of my favorite Shipshawana people. So.
Joe, I saw a package of Twizzlers today, and it made me think of you. I'll bring some with me this year.
Oh, those are so good.
Weren't those?
Oh, yeah.
Which ones did I refresh my memory? Which ones did I bring?
You had like some sort of like.
Were they the key lime ones?
Yeah, those. And then was there like a creamsicle type one?
Yeah, there was an orange creamsicle. Yeah. Kara knows that if she sees them, she buys them. So I think we've got a few packages. I'll make sure I bring them.
If you don't know who Joe Hurd is, he is like the great conductor of the pits. And you just don't mess with Joe. It's that simple. And don't get in the way either, because he will run you over. Not on purpose, but kind of. So.
And he's a crazy cat lady who's a man. He loves his cats.
Okay. Orange and cream, Joe says. Orange and cream. So.
Real quick, just give your people an extra hug this week.
Amen.
We lost a couple people this weekend. Clint alluded to Thurman Munford Jr. passing away in Mechanical Bull International off the East Coast. And personally, on the other side, I do a lot with the drag racing world. And Brian Gray, who ran a pro mod with the Outlaw Diesel Super Series drag series, world's fastest 7.3. He was killed in a car accident along with his son. His wife and other son were in that accident as well. His wife's in ICU. It's tough. I did the whole series for those guys last year and will do again in 2022. And I didn't know Brian that well, but when you do the entire circuit for a sanctioning body, you start to see people as your people. And that one hurts. He was a good guy and really was a pioneer in the direction he chose to go, and was very, very respected. And a lot of people looked up to him and reached out to him for advice that he was free and willing to give. So it's a big hole on that side. I know this is a pulling show, but
no,
just take that second and hug your wife, hug your kids, hug your family, hug your friends. Tell them you love them, because you just don't know.
No, I said that earlier. Unfortunately, there's always a reason to have a benefit tractor at Gordyville. So,
yep.
Or shoot, I said it. I didn't want the whole show, and I didn't say Gordyville. Shipshawana Midwest Winter Nationals. So.
I know what you meant.
No, I promised people I wouldn't say that anymore. So I signed a contract, Charles. So.
Breach of contract.
Breach. You shut up, attic boy.
That's the best you got. Come on, Schultz, you're slipping.
I don't know. I am a little tired. I'm not gonna lie. So.
Well, let's shut her down then.
Bruce,
I've got two things. One of them I need a visual for. Would you pull up the Pullers Championship website?
Almost.
That's not the Pullers Championship.
Squirrel.
And I just want you to go to one tab.
That was a Freudian slip. It's what everybody who is the hater on the internet wants us to be, which is the bus that runs over us and hopefully fail.
Right. And
Moving
Cody's
on.
building a bus, but he's not going to run
Moving
over
on.
anybody.
Yet.
And all I can say is you better
I'll be
be, all I
the
can
first.
say is you better be taking license plates because we're gonna win.
So my computers, can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
It won't. My computer's running slow, so I don't want to. I'm afraid to click on. It says StreamYard is not responding. So,
All right. So here's the thing. There's a contact us tab. It's all the way on the right on the menu bar. Am I right, Brent?
Yes.
All the way to the right.
Yes.
It says contact us. There's at least a half dozen phone numbers, all of ours, plus more. If you have questions and if you don't understand something, if something doesn't make sense, and that's completely possible. When you immerse yourself in writing the things that we write for the website or for the promotion or for whatnot, we talk ourselves into understanding stuff all the time. And that's not because we're stupid. That's because we understand it in our own heads. And I'll give you that lots of things that I understand quite reasonably in my own head, once they come out on paper, that looks like, Ryan, stop taking the drugs. I don't take the drugs. I've just talked it through myself, in my head so many times that it makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to everybody. Call us. Text us. Identify yourself in the text, not just, hey, you, what's this mean? Tell me who you are. Tell us who you are. But, with the exception of Paul, none of us are jerks, and we'll all happily, I had to do it, buddy.
Somebody's got to wear the damn hat.
We're going to make you a hat.
I'm fine with it.
We will happily answer the questions, even if they're hard questions, even if they're questions where, you may not want to hear the answer, or you may think that we may not want to give it to you. We'll give it to you. There's nothing that we're hiding here. There's nothing that we're trying to obscure. We're being as transparent and honest as we possibly can. And we want to make a damn good poll, and we're going to do it. With
And
or
we all
without.
have our rules. We all have our roles of responsibility. So if I tell you I don't know the answer to that, it doesn't mean I'm bullshitting you. It just means it's not my piece for this. It belongs to one of these guys or whatever, and we will get you the right answer.
Yeah, and because the next statement that comes out of our mouth after I don't know is, but I'll find out. Sit tight.
Yes.
And that's exactly what we'll do. So I'm just kind of putting that out there as a blanket statement. The other thing that I have to say is if somebody lists a pulling tractor on the internet for sale and you think it's priced too high, keep your mouth shut. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick, everybody.
There you go.
Take that to Thanksgiving.
That's right. Take that to Thanksgiving. Yeah, take that to Thanksgiving.
Send video
Paul?
if you think of it.
That's
Yeah,
do
that'd
that.
be great. Put
Do
that on my
that. Tape
TikTok.
the reaction.
Paul Romack,
Yes.
what do you got, buddy?
Nothing.
Don't be a dick.
No, just busy as shit. Pulling parts, crazy time. So that's about all we're doing at this point, pulling related, and then trying to get everything else in order. And Joe, I'm sitting out in what is like a Four Seasons room type thing. That's why it looks like I've been kicked out of the house and sitting on the porch. This was built after the house was built, so.
You don't have to lie. You can tell us.
No, I got a little heater going on out here. It's like 27 degrees outside. I'm freezing my nuts off right now. So
You've been in that room since I've been a part of this show back in frickin' March.
well, I can't sit out here when it rains because it sounds like somebody's throwing some ball bearings on top of the roof. But I'm working really, really hard to try to get that all fixed and done with. There's an actual office, and there'll be things on the wall behind me, and Schultz will be happy. And so, yeah, it's coming.
Angela Bosma won't peek her head out the curtains, and
She'll probably still make an appearance. She's ready to come back. We'll have her back for a while.
I would assume so. Jason, did you have fun at the banquet?
Yeah, the Outlaw Banquet was a great time. It was great to see everybody.
Thanks, Joe.
It was a great time. I really enjoyed it. Got to stay at the condo there at Roos's family. Roos bought me bagels for breakfast on Saturday morning, so that was excellent.
And I told you to wait while your wife got ready and stop being so impatient. Yep. How'd that pay off for you?
Good. She's a smoke show. So
she is a smoke show.
Yep.
And I by the way, I did email you the link to the shots that I took at the banquet for the two of you.
I saw that. Thank you very much.
So do something nice with them.
I will.
Thank you.
I will. Stopped at my dad's on the way home. He has cows. He goes, hey, just let's run out to the farm and help me get the cows back in. And I'm like, all right. So Cody, I had my brand new Jordans on, and I ended up in a pasture.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Cows, now, if you're a vegetarian, you've never tried to put 60 or 70 calves back, 800-pound calves where they're supposed to be. If you had dealt with and listened to my dad, it was like being back on the farm again. Listen to my dad, because I'm like, oh, yeah, Dad, call them all those mean names. That helps a lot. So, but if you're a vegetarian, you've never tried to put cows back into the proper area.
You experienced the shirt that says "Sorry about what I said" when we were moving cows or working cows. Any of those options? Yeah. Like that's not an understatement at all. That is 100% truth.
It was literally like flashbacks to my childhood. I'm like, holy crap! It was so. Once that one stupid calf, they all follow him. They all follow him, and I did the old back and I had my arms up, and they don't know me, and I don't know. It was not fun.
Did the Jordans survive?
Yeah, I had to clean them up a little bit. So I had to clean them up.
Jake Zering swears up and down he learned how to talk the way that he does just from running cattle with his old man. So
yeah, those were swear words.
That's hilarious because I've talked to Jake. This makes a lot more sense now.
Yes. Those were swear words I just haven't heard in a long time. I mean, I was like, really, Dad? They're cows. What the hell? And it was colder than hell yesterday, and 30-mile-an-hour winds, 40-mile-an-hour winds in Iowa. And Dad he actually called me tonight during the show. That's why I got up. And he never calls us late at night, so I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. So again, I just wanted to apologize. I'm like, Dad, I'm 46. I've heard it all before. It's been a couple years, but I've heard it all before. So.
Did it surprise you that he could use F-bombs like commas?
Oh, jeez. No, I get it honest, but it was kind of funny again. But the Outlaw Banquet was awesome. Well run, great food, great people, had a great time. The auction was a hoot. I talked to Doug.
Ritter is the best ringer I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, once he touches your shoulders,
you're opening your wallet, don't you?
Yeah, you're going to spend $500 to $1,000 the next 10 seconds. So I mailed my check to Lori today, so we're all good. Paul, I spent more money than I had in my wallet at the auction. So.
I'm sure they're happy for it. Thank you on behalf of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association.
The scholarship fund, we raised $28,000.
Yeah, Paul,
that's badass.
The money raised was no joke.
That is.
There was a blanket there that went for $2,200
in the toolbox. Yeah.
Well, Median got into that toolbox for $7 or $8 I think, didn't he?
Is that right?
Yeah. I was chicken feed compared to Median and those guys. So thank you for putting those up there. I appreciate that because my screen is just froze. I can't do anything except talk. So there's quite a few comments popping up, but you guys were great. Love working with you guys. I'm so excited for the Holzhauer. It is the Holzhauer Championship. Let's be honest. The Pullers Championship at the track at Holzhauers. Beyond excited. Talked to a lot of pullers. Talked to a lot of outlaw pullers. There's a lot of interest in it. Hey, we're going to get the first one done, and if we need to improve it for next year, we're going to listen to all your comments and your feedback, and then
I'll actually say this about the Outlaws. From what we've heard, from everyone that's been invited so far, we haven't heard from 2 of them.
Yep.
So, and they're excited to get their chance to try to beat up on the old NTPA and PPL pullers. So.
There's one class that I'm really excited to see a couple tractors run. So, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be real good.
One last thing from the Outlaw Banquet. Shout out to the fire department guys because Saturday night when we were done with our banquet, they had a firefighters ball right next door. They had 2 fire trucks and everything in there. Had a DJ, and they had a blasting time. And pretty sure they told us as long as you tip the bartender, there's free Busch Light all night. And so you do not tell that to a bunch of tractor pullers. So we had a good.
No, that really happened. I watched that happen.
That's dangerous.
There might have been some people that crawled the ladder of the fire truck in the resort that was inside. Yeah, we had a good time.
In party dresses?
Yeah.
That happened.
Yep. So.
Wow.
See, that's what happens when I take my wife. We go home early.
Yeah. You
Which
missed
I'm not mad about. A little, but not all of it. So.
You'd save your
I'm
energy.
going to throw something at you, and I'm going to laugh when it hits you.
No, I'm at the office. She's at home. So.
Oh.
She does not watch Let's Grow Pulling, guys. I know it's odd.
Well, I'm gonna text her and just tell her when you walk in to throw something at you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you know.
So next Monday night, who do we need? Let's keep picking our class reps. You think, right, guys, for the PPC?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Probably need to go diesel. I'm thinking, or we've had what? Travie, diesel super, unlimited super. Who should we go after?
We got to start talking trucks at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, can we get Ference on?
We sure could.
Or can we get
easy?
Yeah, can we get
careful
on?
You're gonna have to drop a teaser in there before the guest comes on the show, and if we do that. So
who?
Yeah.
I don't get the joke. What's going on?
It'll be in the group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one that I'm thinking of that's signed up.
Yeah.
It would be an awesome interview.
That would be. I think we should. I think we need to reach out to.
Is that who I think it is?
Yes, it is.
Significant other and make that happen.
Yes. That would be a very good one.
Do you know them personally, Paul?
No, but I know someone who does.
Okay.
So we'll work on that.
Cool. Well, I can't play my video or nothing. Charles, can you go into the brand part and play that video to end it and then hit end broadcast, or are you not?
I thought you were going to tell him to talk about today.
Let's talk about today.
In the accent. And that was gonna be an interesting thing to watch. Charles ad lib and a Newfie accent.
Yep.
I got you.
He knows.
Let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead. Let's wrap it up.
Here we go.
Good night, guys.
Night, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, my screen's just spinning, Charles. I can't do nothing.